what's up YouTube, Mike from Troopers here, and today we finish off the NFC East predictions. Make sure you go check those out, because today we're doing a new division. We're heading off to the NFC North, and today we're going to be starting out with, guess who? The Chicago Bears. Now, the Bears made a lot of additions in the offseason, the biggest which being Justin Fields. Now, you're going to get my thoughts on Justin Fields coming up, but you know how these work. We start off with, is the team good, is the team bad, what's the roster looking like? Then we go game by game, predict wins and losses throughout the entire schedule they have. So we're going to start off right now. Obviously, the Chicago Bears, who's their quarterback? Andy Dalton. They gave him a nice payday. Said, hey, Andy, you're the starter. Then, oops, guess what? We took Justin Fields. A lot of Bears fans seem happy with that, trading up for Justin Fields. Personally, I don't think Fields is going to be the greatest, but I do think he'll help this team a little bit. He's going to be the building block of this team's franchise, I think. I think he'll be that guy for this team for the foreseeable future. Now, is Andy Dalton starting week one? Most likely. Honestly, I'm not sure how long of a leash they're going to give Andy Dalton. It kind of depends on how Justin Fields looks in practice, which reports are saying he's looking good. Nick Foles, yeah, he's still on the team. GG. Magic Nick Foles, what a beast. They drafted offensive linemen in the draft. They tried addressing offensive line because they have one of the hottest running backs in the league. David Montgomery was a beast late in the season in 2020, and they're going to look to continue that. They were a running team, a run-first team late in the season, and it worked out for them. It worked for the best. And they also added Damian Williams, who, don't forget, Damian Williams was a Super Bowl MVP candidate, and then he opted out for the last season. But he's back, and he's on Chicago. Now, the Bears' defense is going to remain solid. Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, solid defensive line. Pretty solid secondary, nothing special. But this team overall, it's decent. It has some holes, especially quarterback. Wide receiver, they franchise tag Allen Robinson, I believe, which is solid. After Allen Robinson, the receivers definitely fall off a little bit. But, this team does have some. It's not like, we're not looking at like the Jaguars or like the Lions. Yeah, just wait for the Lions prediction. This team definitely has some pieces in place, but the potential, we'll have to see. They have a tough schedule. Looking at the schedule, week one, they play the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Rams gave up a lot to get Matt Stafford, and it's going to work out for them. Matt Stafford and the Rams are going to be a match made in heaven. They're going to destroy a lot of teams this year. I think they're going to be scary good. Rams definitely get the win week one. Sorry, Bears fans. Who even knows who your quarterback is? Probably Andy Dalton for this game, but it doesn't really matter. Andy Dalton's not being Matt Stafford. Let's be real here. Bears 0-1. Week two, they play the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the home opener for Chicago. I could see the Bengals winning this game. I think the Bengals are going to have a scary offense. T. Higgins, he's going to be a monster this year. Jamar Chase, I'm assuming. And obviously Tyler Boyd, Joe Burrow. Pretty solid offense. Joe Mixon. No offensive line, though, so that's probably a rip. And then on defense, the Bengals have exactly. All right, so I think the Bears definitely get the win right here week two. The Bears are a more complete team, and I'm high on David Montgomery this year. He was a standout star late in the season. So the Bears get the win week two. They'll probably be able to move the ball offensively with ease. 1-1. Week three, they play the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. This is going to be a tough game. The Cleveland Browns proved a lot of people wrong last year, including Dan. Dan did not think they were the best team. Thought they were a little overrated. But they turned out to be pretty solid. I honestly thought they weren't going to be that great either. Baker Mayfield. I'm still not convinced on Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's kind of like the Drew Lock scenario. He's better than Drew Lock, obviously. But I still want to see some glimpses of amazement. But yeah, the Browns definitely have a good team. Definitely the Browns have the win right here, week 3, 1-2 for the Bears. Then they play the Detroit Lions. Luckily, they share a division with the Detroit Lions, who I've been saying this over and over again. Name 3 receivers from the Detroit Lions. I can't do it either. You can't win without receivers. The Bears get the win week 4, and they're 2-2. Then they play the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. The Raiders are going to be a solid team this year. Good offense, good defense. I think they have a bright future ahead. Aguilar had he trolled the Eagles fans, including me. And yeah, I'm not happy about Aguilar being on the Raiders and playing good. It's brutal. But the Raiders definitely get the win right there. And the Bears are 2-3. Then they play the Green Bay Packers. Now, I've been predicting every single game on the Packers schedule under the assumption that Aaron Rodgers is a Green Bay Packer. Now, this is a game where I kind of hedged my bets. What if he isn't a Green Bay Packer? And I gave the Bears an upset victory in Chicago over the Packers. Now, this is going to be a bit of a spoiler, later in the season. I think the Bears are going to split with the Packers to make it fair. But I think the Bears could get one of these games, especially if Aaron Rodgers is not a Green Bay Packer. So I'm giving the Bears a surprising victory right here to make it 3-3. Then they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game's in Tampa Bay. Buccaneers are stacked on offense, stacked on defense. I hope Tom Brady is retiring this year, honestly. Yeah, but it's not looking good. And the Buccaneers definitely get the win right here, 3-4. 49ers, this is another tough game. This game is in Chicago, though. Justin Fields might be starting at this point. I think the Chicago Bears get the victory right here. I think at this point in the season, they're going to rely on David Montgomery a lot. They have a pretty close record to 500. They'll get the job done with David Montgomery against the 49ers in a big game for this team. The 49ers are going to be solid this year, really good. They have a lot of players come back from injury, but it's not enough to beat the Bears at home, 4-4 at this point. Then they have the Steelers in Pittsburgh. That's a tough game. Steelers, I don't think they're going to be great this year. I don't think they're going to be horrible. They're kind of an in-the-middle team. Ben Roethlisberger is getting a little too old for my liking. Yeah, I said it last year. I said Ben Roethlisberger is too old for my liking. And honestly, I think I'm right. I think Ben Roethlisberger's got to go soon. I do like their signing of Dwayne Haskins, though. It's pretty solid, in my opinion. And I do like their drafting of a running back. However, no offensive line to protect him. Bears lose this game, though, in Pittsburgh. Tough place to play. Steelers are still good enough to get the win against Chicago. Then the bye week, and then they play the Ravens. This game's in Chicago. I gave them the winning to the Packers and the 49ers in Chicago. Home field advantage stops. They're not going to beat the Ravens in Chicago, as much as you like to say it. Yeah, this is definitely a loss for the Chicago Bears, which brings their overall record to 4-6. Then the Detroit Lions again in Detroit. Same reason as before. Lions not going to be great this year. Yeah, that's enough said. 5-6, I believe. And then they play the Cardinals. This game is in Chicago. Cardinals are a really good team this year. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. They're going to have a better record than people expect. Cardinals get the win right here. Then the second game versus the Packers. I already said they're going to split. So, yeah, Packers get the win definitely in Green Bay. Even regardless of who their quarterback is really, I think the Packers could probably win this game even if they had a different quarterback besides Aaron Rodgers. Then they play the Minnesota Vikings. This is the first game of their series. We're going to give them the win in game 1 of this series. They play them the last week of the season as well. This game's in Chicago. They're going to get the win right here. The Vikings' run defense and defense in general isn't great, so Montgomery's going to have a big game. Then they play the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. The Seahawks, I think they're a little overrated, but they always have a good record at the end of the season. They'll get the job done in Seattle. Tough place to play end of the year. Seahawks probably going for a playoff spot right here too, so Seahawks get the win. Then they play the New York Giants. This game's in Chicago. Now, this is going to be a good game. These games are usually close between the Bears and Giants. This one's tough. Honestly, I think the Giants could win this game, especially Kenny Golladay. He'll probably destroy the Bears. The Giants are a solid offense. Daniel Jones, though, kind of scares me. The Bears' defense and Daniel Jones does not pair well together. I think Daniel Jones is going to have some nightmares. He'll be seeing ghosts out there again on the field. And then the final game of the season, they finish it off against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Looking at my record predictions, I don't think either of these teams are going to have much to play for at this point in the season, but we'll give the win to Minnesota. We'll have the Bears splitting with those teams, those teams being the Packers and the Vikings, and that's going to have the Bears finishing with an overall record of 7 wins, 10 losses. I think that's a pretty solid prediction, based on their quarterback situation. I definitely think it's pretty fair. 7 wins, 10 losses, tough schedule. Let me know what you guys think down below. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Thanks for watching. Smash the subscribe button.